Good morning, everyone. It is Friday. Love it when Friday comes. Welcome to JA's Recipe for Success video show and podcast. I'm your host, Lowrey, and I am the proud president and CEO of Junior Achievement of South Florida. You know, this show was created to inspire our audience as well as our students, over 50,000 a year that we serve, with the stories and journeys of leaders and entrepreneurs. I've learned so much from these interviews and these guests, and I hope that if you have tuned into some of our episodes that you have too. If you're watching for the first time, you can certainly check out our past shows at jasouthflorida.org or on JA South Florida's YouTube channel. This month is special to Junior Achievement. It's JA Alumni Month. And so we know that JA programs have a strong impact on participants professionally and personally into their adulthood and into the working world. We recently did a new alumni survey that revealed that JA influenced their lives in regard to their career path and was the major reason they became an entrepreneur. This month, we'll be talking with JA alumni who will share their JA story and their ingredients to success. And this week, I have the distinct pleasure of speaking with one of our alumni who has been involved before I even got to JA 5.5 years ago, Miss Violet Lowrey. And Violet is the Director of Student and Career Services at Keiser University. Welcome, Violet.
Good morning, Lowrey, and thank you for having me. I'm very excited. I love Junior Achievement, and I'm so honored to be here. So thank you for having me.
Well, Junior Achievement loves you too. And so let's start off with, since it is JA Alumni Month, let's start off with your first a little bit about your story and how did you end up doing JA, and I know you have a really unique story about it.
So, well, I'll start off as an alumni. When I moved to Florida with my parents, I was born in Chicago, and we moved to Florida in 1981. And I was in 5th grade at the time, and I went to Hollywood Central Elementary in Hollywood, and the program was there, and I did Junior Achievement program. So I am an alumni. I don't remember everything. So for all of these youngsters out there, yes, I did say 1981. That's when I did the program. And then it evolved, obviously, over the years, and I became involved in the community and doing different things and joining different organizations. And Junior Achievement was one. And there was a board called Professional Connection Junior Achievement Professional Connection Board, and it was young professionals. And we were raising money monthly at socials to build the JA facility that you see today in Coconut Creek off of the Turnpike. So JA World. And we'd have monthly socials. And so a friend of mine, I said, hey, come with me. It's going to be in Boca. And he says, great. I went to high school in Boca. I'm bound to know somebody. So lo and behold, we go to the event, and he knew someone, and his name, Kenneth Lowrey. And so we began talking and, hey, what do you do? What do you do, et cetera. And then that Kenneth Lowrey was his friend and said, hey, I'd like to take you out the next day. And it was a Jimmy Buffett concert, which I didn't know much about Jimmy Buffett, but I do now because I'm a parrot head. And then lo and behold, met my husband at a Junior Achievement social. So that was back in 2003, and we got married in 2005, and we had our first son in 2008. So we said we have to wrap this around somehow. So Junior Achievement is known as JA, and our first date was Jimmy Buffett. So we said we have to name our son Jimmy James. So and his middle name is Alexander. So JA, Jimmy, James Alexander, and the rest is history. So
that is such an amazing, that's probably the best JA alumni story ever. We're going to get that out there around the globe. And that's amazing. So, you know, I know you said, you know, of course, obviously it's so many years later, but in the 5th grade program, you would have been doing financial literacy, you know, and now you work with students every day, right? Preparing them for jobs and for life, really. Talk a little bit about, you know, how important, you know, you think that might be for these students, especially now as you see them at the older ages.
Sure. Financial literacy obviously is a staple. It is the foundation for you to be able to function as an adult. So learning at the very beginning of your life to save. My children, I have two children, as I mentioned before, Jimmy, but then I have Emma, and she's 10 years old. She just turned 10 years old. But Jimmy, as you know, Lowrey, you gave him a tour of JA World, and he did the program in fifth grade. And he came to JA World and did the program and learned. And it's setting the foundation for success. You have to know how to budget. You have to know how to manage your money. You have to know how to save. As you could see, we are at unprecedented times. And so if you can have some money saved up for those unforeseen situations that may take place, it will only set you up for success. Knowing what you can afford and what you can't afford. So these are the ground rules for how you can be successful. Knowing how to manage your money. So obviously, if you're young and 10 years old and knowing how to do that and saving your money. So what we do with our children, if they get birthday money, we say, okay, you could spend half, but half has to go right to the bank. And then you set that up for success. And so the programs at Junior Achievement, even I taught them all in the schools. We used to get our little bag, a little pack from Junior Achievement for the different grade levels. And you're teaching them different things, how to run a city, how a community works, and financial literacy obviously is the foundation for being successful.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you're right today, more critical than ever. And I'm sure that, I see my daughter is 25, Samantha, and, our kids are lucky that they had us, teaching them along the way, in addition to what they did at JA and possibly in school a little bit. But when I said to her, when this all started, are you okay? Do you need help? And she said, no, Mom, I've got 6 months rent saved. And that was what my dad always taught me. And so she didn't have the stresses that I'm sure you're seeing in some of the students today. But I want to talk a little bit now. I want to talk a little bit about you and how did you end up right in this career that you chose? What was it that drove you to this career? And how did you get here? Tell us the short story.
Sure. So I've always been involved in the community. And so that is one of the key things that I tell the students here too at Keiser University, to get involved in the community. You don't know who you're going to meet. It's all about networking, who you know, who maybe can introduce you, who you could learn from, who could be a mentor to you to help you reach your success and your goals. And I've done that with the programs at Junior Achievement. I do it here at Keiser University. We do have financial success workshops that we do with the students as well, so they are successful. And I worked from when I was in college, I worked for Wells Fargo, and I worked with them for many years. And then I created my own company, A+ Professional Resumes, for professional development, to have people and clients that want to be successful, teaching them how to be active in the community, how to build themselves up professionally. And then I would always give back in the community at all the universities, and Keiser was one of them. And I would go in and do workshops and such, and through people that I know, and the position became open. And since I always interacted with students on every level and professionals in the community, it was a perfect fit to have the position here at Keiser University and help those students become the professionals that they can be, and have them overcome any struggles that they may have, and teach them and show them how they could be successful.
Yeah, so important. And it's interesting. I sit around like you, so many tables here in the community. And when I first started this several years ago, I would hear about people saying, in college we have to teach them those critical skills when they get to college. And I'm thinking, no, they need to know them when they get to college, right? And so talk a little bit about, because I'm curious what you see, right, at the college level, at the secondary education level. What do you see as far as young people being prepared for work, right, and for college, to prepare for life? Do you see, do they have the employability skills, those soft skills, right? Because you're training them for the technical side. Do they have those soft skills, or do we need to do more?
Well, it depends on the individual. As you know, everyone comes from a different background, different situations, different circumstances. So we work with our students to identify how they are, how they interact. And we have different career services workshops that we do every month, every couple of weeks. We have the Greatness Leadership Initiative. We have many different programs and workshops that we do with them to develop those skills. We have resume preparedness, interview coaching, mock interviews. So we have the students upload their resume to us before they exit the university. It's a requirement. We have mock interviews with them, prepare them. We have a program here where they need to dress professionally to come to school. It is a requirement. You have to dress professional to come to class. You cannot just come in jeans and a t-shirt or anything like that. If you're in a program where it's in like allied health program, you have to wear your scrubs. So it is a completely professional environment, preparing them to exit the university as a professional. We have the writing studio, we have math labs to prepare them for anything that they may need to face that employment situation. So we do work with them if they need it. So
yeah, so important. I mean, I think we need to, just being with my own children, right? We need to start young and continue it through every level of education, I think is so important. So, you know, you mentioned that stint as an entrepreneur, that you started your own company. So talk a little bit about that. What helped you to be successful as you know, because starting something from scratch, right? First of all, you know, you're taking a risk. Will it work? Won't it work? Right? So talk a little bit about what made you decide to do it, and then what helped you to be, you know, to move forward.
yes. So with respect to opening and starting your own business, of course, it's scary and you don't want to fail and you don't know the unknown. So what took place is I was always involved in the community, and that is the secret to success for myself. Getting involved, giving back, being involved in many different organizations. And it stemmed from having this business from a tragedy. My brother, he was, you know, a nice guy, 35 years old, at a crossroads in his life. And it caught up with him. And unfortunately, it turned out to a tragedy. And I wanted to see how I can help many people. So I started A+ Professional Resumes to help people with their job search, to help them build themselves up professionally. I had clients from high school level to CEOs. So I learned to deal with every situation. And for me, continuously evolving and educating myself, learning, having mentors, and figuring out how can I help the next person. And so I would go and learn and get certifications and licenses and attend workshops and conferences and get involved on committees. I got involved with HR organizations, nonprofit organizations, and that was the secret to success, because the more people you know, the more people you can ask and get assistance and help my clients to find jobs, etc. Exactly like it's happening here in my role at Keiser University. Knowing those people and saying, hey, I have a student, a graduate, they need a job. Do you have anything open? And it's all about the networking. So I started that company. And that's why when JA Fellows was the opportunity, and I took that and ran with it, because it was so awesome to help those students start a company. You have an idea, great. My son Jimmy started a snow cone business. It's Jimmy's Frozen Rainbows, and he started it and he loves it, and he does it in the summer. And you know, you learn the tricks in the trade, but you know, when you're a small business, you have to figure out, how am I going to be successful? How can I get out my word in the community? And that's what you have to do. You have to get involved and you have to give back. It's not just about you making the money, it's how can I help? And I think that's a message that if you can get out to people, how can I help you? Then you will bring yourself up and be successful as well. So that helped me. And that, I think, is a recipe for success for business owners, for students, for college students, high school students, anyone that wants to be successful. How can you better yourself? Try and get involved and give back as well.
Yeah, I love that. So, you know, I'm writing down rest of your ingredients as you're talking, and so many good ones out of that story. And so, but tell me, you know, no entrepreneur no entrepreneurial journey is an easy one and a flat road, right, to success. What was one of the challenges that you may have faced in starting that company and keeping that company going to be successful, that you had to overcome?
Sure. Great question. So obviously, when you're first starting out, you need to evaluate and see where you want to go with the company. And small businesses, usually it's just you, the individual. And then I started it also so I could be a mom with my children. So a challenge was I was myself. So you're on 24/7 when you have your business. So there's no downtime. I would be with my kids. I had the pack and play in my office. I had an office in Pompano, and then I had one in Hollywood and so you have the pack and play there. The challenge is you have a client in the office, your son or daughter wakes up, and then you have to deal with them. But ultimately, you have to find that happy medium, and you have to deal with anything that's going to come to you. If it's a challenge, you have to overcome it and see how you can and be successful. Late nights was a challenge. You're like I said, you're meeting with clients all day. So one of the main things I did was write all day long. I had to prepare resumes, bios, business plans, anything that may have been in conversation with my clients, especially my C-level clients that needed other documents. And they said, "Hey, can you help me, Violet?" Sure. I'm happy to help you. Oh my goodness, let me figure it out. It's just like, you're like, okay, yes, okay, I can help you. And then you figure it out later. So that's something I think that all entrepreneurs do is they want the business and they want to be successful. And they're like, okay, let me figure it out after I say yes. So that is the challenge too. You're always trying to figure out, how am I going to have the marketing dollars and how am I going to get out? And that was one of the key things is if you can get out marketing by getting involved. And like many people, I'm involved in the chambers. I sat on boards and chambers, etc. If you don't know, I was involved with Leadership Broward, one of your employees. So Leadership Broward, Leadership Hollywood, and through Leadership Broward, you have to do community work. And so my project was with the American Lung Association, Turquoise Takeover. So lung cancer awareness. My mother-in-law just passed away in February from lung cancer. And so the mission for Turquoise Takeover was awareness for that mission. And that's all about marketing. So you learned that too. So if you are an entrepreneur and you want to start a business, you can get involved with a nonprofit organization like Junior Achievement, because you're teaching other people and you're learning something as well. And you're making contacts to make your business successful.
Yeah, I love that. I love that one. Say yes and figure it out, right? And that's, I don't know if that's a mom thing, a woman thing, or I think probably men do it as well. But I think you're right. We're juggling a lot of balls, and you just, there's a woman that I listen to her podcast. Her name is Marie Forleo, and she always says it's figure outable, right? And so you try to figure it out. So many amazing ingredients to your success. And you talked about mentors quite a few times already, being a mentor as well as having mentors. Was there a mentor that you had in your life that really left an impact on you?
So there's many of them. I had some from being just a manager that you had, when you first start out. When I first started, I was in college and I was recruited, and I worked with someone who's in the community and she's involved. Her name's Sandra Dane. And I worked with her. And so I worked in her office with her for many years. And then it evolves and then it changes to other people. So Melissa Aiello, who was the former CEO of Junior Achievement, I knew her very well, and she was a mentor. Anytime there was something that came up with Junior Achievement, she'd say, "Hey, Violet, you want to try and do this?" And I said, "Sure." And just people that are, my mom, you want to be like your mom. My mom is like a saint. And so if I could be half the person that she is, it would be unbelievable. And, other people that you see, both professionally and, personally, just anything that you could take away from it. Every day we're learning. So I learned even from my team here. I learned from my kids, especially during COVID, or every day you have a conversation with your children. You say, hey, how was school? What did you do today? Oh, everything's fine. And then I dig deeper. I'm like, no, tell me what you did. And then from them as well. You learn from the students here. You learn what their challenges are, what they're facing, what they're going through. Because I always said, since my brother passed, I always say, you don't know what you don't know about someone. So try and smile. If you're in the elevator with someone, just look at them and say hi, because just that hi could change their life and you don't even know it, because they could be going through something rough. And just by saying hello to them, it could say, oh, someone noticed me, somebody cared about me. Going around, if you're in line at Publix, you don't have to be a stalker or anything, but you can say, hey, how are you? How are you doing? But always try and, bring a little positivity. We all are facing challenges right now. Everyone can, get upset at any given moment. But if you could shed just a little bit of light, I know it's hard for everyone, but just if you could smile. I always used to do it when I went at career fairs and spoke, and I was a speaker. I would say, okay, everybody, at this time, I want you to look at me and I want you to smile for 60 seconds. And people were like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, seriously. And then you saw the change in the room just by that one little thing, smiling. So.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Well, my page is getting filled up here with ingredients, and I'm going to read a few of them back, and then we're going to talk about your main ingredient, which I have a feeling from our conversation and from reading your bio that I know what that's going to be. But so let me read some of the ingredients to your success that I read. You mentioned networking several times, and building that circle of influence and circle of support. Mentors, both having them as well as being a mentor, giving back to the community. You talked about writing skills, which obviously is a skill that our students, most people will need, right, in life or in their career. Continuous learning. I love that about you. That's so important, right? Because if we think we're there and we don't continue to grow and evolve, right, then we don't know what the possibilities and opportunities are. Using your life experiences, right, to drive you to do things that might be your passion and to make a difference. Getting involved. You talked a lot about awareness and marketing, not just of your business, but also of you, which I love that you mentioned. Asking how you can help others. I think, that speaks to servant leadership. Which I think is so important, right? There are people that serve others, and then there's leaders that serve themselves, right? And so I love that. That is a big thing for me as well. Where you're going, having your goals and knowing where you're going, finding the balance, even though sometimes it might be hard. Hard work. I heard you talking about working late at night and all hours and getting it done, right? Smiling, being happy and making others feel happy. Curiosity, right? I was going to say nosy, but I think curiosity is a better word. My daughter tells me that too. Mom, you're so nosy. Like, you ask all the questions of everyone. And I'm like, because I want to know them. And I always find that when you do get to know them, you can either help them or there's something that they bring to your life. So being kind, and it goes with, making people happy. Saying yes and figuring it out. I love that one. That's going to be one of my takeaways that I stay with. And then, of course, learning through your involvement, not just being involved to promote yourself, but also learning through that involvement. So let's talk now for just a couple of minutes and dig a little bit deeper into your main ingredient to success. And I'm sure you probably, I don't know if you love to cook. I do, mostly Italian food. And so there's always that main ingredient that I love to cook with. I probably would have to say it was garlic, but there's always a main ingredient to our success as well. And I know sometimes it's hard to pick one. What's your main ingredient? And let's dig a little deeper into it.
As far as being genuine and passionate, being honest, and you have to have that drive. And giving back, as I told you, and being involved in the community, I think is one of the main things that made me successful. And obviously continuous education clearly is one of the main things, and being involved. But the main thing is you have to be you. You have to have your own self and know where you want to go, know where you want to be, and be passionate about that. Anything I tell the students here and past clients and such is, if you're not passionate about it, it doesn't matter what you do, you'll continuously be searching if you don't have that. So you have to be passionate about what you do. And clearly I am, and I love working with the students and also with junior achievement and those students, because those students eventually will move on and be members of our community. So I always tell my kids, I have to help you. And they always ask me, Mom, why are you always going to all these things and doing all these things? I said, because that's our community. And I have to help our community be great for when you're older,
Right.
and you're going out in the community. So
I love that. You have to be you. And so, that's something that, I'm not sure that we have at a very young age, right? I'm not sure I even knew who I was, right, at the time that I was in high school or even college for that matter, right? So talk a little bit about how you figured out who you were, and then next, let's talk a little bit about how you help your students, right? Whether it's through JA with the students in the Fellows Company program or students at Keiser.
Sure. So with respect to helping them on their journey, we here at the university will assist them in any way possible. We have many resources and workshops and professional development. We have great faculty and the whole team here to support small class sizes. So we really focus on the students. It is students first philosophy. So that's how we engage our students and help them with their journey through Keiser University. And as far as me with junior achievement or in the community, you just have to figure out and ask the questions. And even with the young students that I work with the Fellows program, I was with the youth school at Nova. So those children are, they're on point. They knew what they wanted to do. And so you just evolve and develop them in that fashion. You just ask certain questions and you say, what is it that you're passionate about? What is it that you want to do? Whenever I ask someone on their career path, what do you want to do? And I say, okay, if it's a cause, that's what it's going to make you passionate, because you see all the people in our community, Lowrey, and Rotary and all these organizations that we're involved in. There had to have been something to spark that. And that's where this all comes from, whether it's your background, your nationality, your upbringing, what your parents did, what your relatives did. That's how it's going to usually how it sparks and how you formulate and how you become the person that you are. But you also have to say, what is it that I like and I'm passionate about? And that's why it's important to get involved in various things so you can figure that out. So in being involved with junior achievement, internships, all of these different apprenticeships and things that you can just figure out and get a feel for what that is, that's going to make you successful. That's going to make you to find out who you are and what you're about. Because everyone's different. So someone, likes to do things that are with, animals, with that cause, or breast cancer, lung cancer, children, whatever it may be. And you as a young person might like that as well. And you see how, when you go for career day, for example, when we as parents go to the school and talk about what we do, that's also how they find out, right? So being involved, again, I can't continuously say that. It always goes back to that.
You're right. And I think, it's about, I think that's what makes JA somewhat unique, is that involvement of volunteers and mentors. We engage on a normal year, not so much in the virtual world, although even in a virtual world, we're working with 2,000 to 3,000 volunteers and mentors. They're just doing it a little differently, right? They're going in via Zoom to the classroom, or they're filming their lessons or their career talk, and then we're showing the videos. So it's a little bit different on how we deliver it today. But normally, on a normal year, we work with over 7,000. And so often we hear from alumni how that volunteer or mentor sharing their story got them excited about a path that they could take. And so I think you're right. It's igniting that spark and that helping them to find their passion. Well, all I can say is we love you, and you are so unique and so amazing. I feel so fortunate. I know we met before. JA, probably Leadership Broward, was when we first started to get to know each other a little bit more. But just a pleasure to have in our community. We're so fortunate to have you, and you and I share the passion of, helping our young people reach their potential. And I think that's, for me, it was when I became a mom. I mean, I always volunteered, and it's funny that I volunteered with kids with disabilities when I was in high school, but I don't think I understood about helping young people find their potential and their passion until I became a mom or a parent, right? So thank you for all that you do in our community. Thank you for all that you do at Keiser to get our children ready, to get these young people ready for work, because you and I both know from being in this world that employers need us to help build that talent pipeline. And so we're contributing to that, the future, hopefully, of our economic structure here in the community. So thank you.
Thank you, Lowrey. It was a pleasure to be here. I love Junior Achievement. I've been in it since I was 10 years old and going strong. So
and we're not letting you go anytime soon. So.
And we're doing the Rotary videos too now. So my Rotary Club is doing videos for Junior Achievement. So we're keeping it going. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for watching. Have an amazing weekend. And we look forward to seeing you in our next episode of Recipe for Success. Let's get cooking. Take care.